When you started as a salesperson, how many rejections you had and how you handled that kind of a pressure?
You're taking me back almost from 20 years back. I have to just think about it. But yes, okay, rejection is something that is there. Before that, what I would like to say is for any person to become a salesperson, it has to come from within. So that passion has to be there in them. Okay. Only
Passion towards the selling?
towards it.
Okay, great.
Only when the passion is there, okay, rejection is nothing.
Nothing, okay.
Okay, because our goal is very different, right?
Absolutely, I agree.
We want to achieve that goal.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the episode 25, the Leaders Speak podcast. Today, I have a person who has more than 3 decades of experience in B2B sales, and he co-founded 3 companies, and he have a tech background, and he amazing relationship builder, and he has so many contacts, so many community building he is doing, and he's done wonders to their organization. Presently, he is a vice president of sales and growth. He taking care of the organization. He doing amazing work, and he build a fantastic thing. They have more than 7,000 customer in B2B. This is something I unheard. Normally 7,000 customer, D2T, D2C normally happen, but in B2B, it's not easy. It's very difficult. I want to know what made him to be so successful in B2B sales. And in this conversation, he's going to talk about more learning versus experience. That is something amazing what he talk about, and how to build a relationship. That is something I learn a lot of things. Let's dive in to build the conversation with Yashwanth. Thank you so much for coming here, and Yashwanth sir. This is a very special episode for me because this is 25th episode I'm shooting with you.
Okay.
Thank you so much for accepting the invite and coming here. Let's begin to understand about yourself. Talk about your family.
Yes.
Where you born and what is your education, what your parents are doing. Just want to know the family background.
Correct. Yeah. Thank you, Basaraj. Thank you so much for having me on this podcast. It's a pleasure always to share experiences because we have learned things on a hard way. But if it really helps somebody who can actually get something out of the learnings that what we had, it is something, a contribution that we have given to the younger generation. That's the whole intent, like what we discussed earlier.
Yeah.
Okay. So to begin with, I think you were keen to understand my family background. Okay. I come from a very humble family. My father being a government employee, my mother being a homemaker. And then I was born in a small town called as KGF, which is now popular.
Oh, acha.
Which is now more popular because of Yash.
KGF
Another Yash,
popular.
just like Yashwanth, another Yash made it more popular.
Absolutely.
Okay. So that way, I think that is a place that it's very close to my heart.
Okay.
For obvious reasons. One is definitely that's a very small town, okay, down south, around 100 kilometers down Bangalore. And then why it is famous is because not what is shown in KGF as a movie. It's very different from that.
Okay.
So here, my father was working for BEML, Bharat Earth Movers
Yeah,
Limited, okay, as an employee. Earlier he was with HAL. Then when BEML started in KGF, he moved to BEML. And another public sector that's there is the Bharat Gold Mines Limited.
Okay.
Okay, that's what got KGF so popular. And these two public sectors, the life around KGF is only because of these two public sectors.
Okay.
And I was born in a government hospital there. It's a small town. Okay, and then that's how I was born in KGF. And then as I've got 2 siblings, one is elder brother and a younger sister. So we were all born there. And then my father used to work in BEML and multiple departments. And then he got retired there itself in 1992. He got retired there. And that's one small thing over there.
Schooling, college, everything done there.
Yeah, I did my schooling there only.
Achha, okay.
And one good thing that I really take pride again in telling is that, as all of us know, KGF, the gold mines was actually run by Britishers.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, and then we had one of the fantastic schooling there. And for boys, there used to be something called a St. Mary's Convent, which was more popular.
Okay.
And for girls, there used to be something called a St. Joseph's Convent.
Oh.
So why I take pride in telling that our foundation in education was so strong because of these convents. And with all due respect to a lot of institutions that's here in Bangalore, one school there would have kind of given space for almost 3 or 4 different schools that is there in Bangalore. That we had that kind of luxury there in the schooling that we did.
Okay.
Okay, that's the kind of, and even the teachers were quite strict. They were quite well educated. Okay, then the basics were taught to us very strictly, and that's what has brought us to whatever we have achieved to some extent today is only because of the foundation that's actually good there. And the schooling was definitely good. They used to kind of help us groom ourselves.
Okay.
And then of course, education was there, but still, apart from education, I was more active in multiple co-curricular activities. Okay, I used to participate in debate contests, sports. I was a sports person. Okay, I had represented my schooling and then my college in the state level and then national level competitions. So that way, that actually gave me that confidence to kind of be more in the public speaking.
Okay.
So this is my small grooming, I think. Now, if I need to talk a little more about my siblings, my elder brother, who is a science graduate, he runs his own pharma distributorship.
Okay.
And then I did my schooling in KGF, and then I did my engineering in KGF. Okay, and after my engineering, I came to Bangalore, and then I worked in Bangalore. And after 14 years of my work experience, I got a chance to do my MBA.
Okay.
And then my younger sister, who is a doctor, she's practicing in UK. So that's a small
Super.
thing
Amazing.
of my.
You did MBA in Bangalore, right?
No, I did it in not in Bangalore, Bharatidasan University, Trichy.
Okay.
That's where I did.
Distance. Okay.
Yeah,
Got it.
distance, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing. And I know you have more than 3 decades of experience in sales. Okay. Any guest who come here, this is my favorite questions because I want to understand behind why they choose particular profession. Like
Correct.
either even though HR or marketing or sales, you have more than 3 decades of experience in sales. I want to know what made you to choose only sales as a profession. Why not any other profession? Just
So, two things. You use the word called as experience. I take a small deviation there. I still continue to use the word called as learning. It's 3 decades of learning is what I had.
That's great.
Still continue learning.
Okay.
Because the moment I say that, okay, I've got an experience, I think there is a small end to the growth that we actually get. So that's the way that I look at.
Okay.
So why sales is because though I did my engineering, the reason why I did my engineering was in a small town, there were only 2 options after taking science as pre-university. So one was if somebody gets very good score, they go for MBBS. Average, little better than that, they go for dentistry.
Okay.
And the ones who have got a little lesser score, choice is only engineering.
Okay.
Because when I completed my engineering, the opportunities were pretty high in terms of doing that. And then, but even having done a technical course, my inclination was more towards talking to people, learning from people, interacting with people. That was what I enjoyed. Okay, when I wanted to take up sales in my family, they said that, okay, is this the reason why we had to get you educated as an engineer? Because the moment the engineering comes, even after that, there were a couple of options. One is either go and work for any public sector, as BML or BGML or any of the public sectors, go and work for them, or join an organization. But for me, I always wanted to connect with people, and then I also wanted to do something on my own. What I would also like to mention is that during my engineering itself, that business mentality came to my mind. Okay. So during my second year and my third year, I used to do small businesses at my home itself. What was it? I used to sell some saris. I used to sell some items.
Oh.
Because that inclination came to me during my studies itself. Okay, so that was where I started getting an inclination towards doing something on my own. And I always believed, with all due respects to every profession, every designation in an organization, when I looked at some of the successful professionals who are the head of the organizations, who are the CEOs of the companies, they always had a background in sales.
Okay.
Okay, because that was what was actually taking me to that getting into sales. Because that's a hardship that we learn. Because when I started my sales profession, okay, and I had to run around streets and roads for doing the sales, which was not an easy journey.
Yeah.
Okay, I had to run from companies to companies, but I was enjoying that throughout. Okay, that enjoyment actually got me connected to multiple people.
Okay.
So I built my network, and then I was able to grow at multiple levels. One step at a time, I was able to see my growth at multiple levels. And then I always believed that sales is one profession where people can earn incentives. Okay, that actually attracted me again.
Okay.
So this is one of the reasons why actually I chose sales.
Okay.
And I've been enjoying the thing, and that actually led me to become an entrepreneur,
Amazing.
build companies. So that's my inclination, why I chose sales as a profession.
That's amazing inputs. Okay. Now, when you mentioned you had a technical skills, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm a non-technical skills.
Okay.
Now, I want to understand from you, because you have 30 years experience in sales. What is the advantage you have when you have a technical skills and become a salesperson?
Correct. Very good question. And fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm a non-technical, I know, but I want to understand what is the advantage you have.
Correct. So even coming from the technical background, I had an opportunity to either work for organizations which was more technical inclined, okay, or maybe it is the IT side of it. Because though I did my electric engineering, I never worked even a single day on the electrical side, except for some time in between. I used to do this electrical audit for some companies.
Okay.
So that was sort of learning that I was doing electrical audit for some companies. But again, the advantage from being from a technical background is we get to do something called as a techno-commercial sales folks.
Techno-commercial.
Techno-commercial.
Okay.
What happens is, while being in sales, definitely the sales skills are required. Okay, but apart from that, having a knowledge of the technology side also, right? We can add technology to that, and we can become a techno-commercial. We can also add some technical input. So, say for example, if we're just going and talking to somebody, we can get a technical angle towards the discussion what we're doing. So that actually adds more weightage to the discussion that we're doing. Except for apart from talking superficial about whatever product that we're selling, it could be a product or it could be a service. So that is something that I found interesting, and where people started appreciating that. When I just spoke to that, a couple of people directly told me that, okay, it's not only the knowledge of the product that you've got, you're also able to add some technicalities to that.
Okay.
So that actually gave me more confidence. And then I think my engineering background helped me there, is what I feel.
Okay. Good. Okay. But for example, if you want to become a salesperson, you need to accept the reality of rejection.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because when I started my sales career, I got 200 rejection initially when I started my career.
Correct.
Okay. According to you, why this rejection is important? Because couple of salespeople think that if get the rejected, they feel that failure.
Yes.
I think as a salesperson, that is a stepping stone. You need to work on that.
Correct.
Is rejection is part of the sales process.
Correct. I understand.
Okay, it will take time to build that kind of a relationship, hope, that follow-ups you need to do, but you should be ready to accept the rejection.
Correct.
When you started as a salesperson, how many rejections you had, and how you handle that kind of a pressure?
You're taking me back almost from 20 years back. I have to just think about it. But yes. Okay, rejection is something that is there. Before that, what I would like to say is, for any person to become a salesperson, it has to come from within. So that passion has to be there in them.
Okay.
Only
Passion towards the selling?
towards selling.
Okay, great.
Okay. Only when that passion is there, okay, rejection is nothing.
Nothing. Okay. I
Okay, because our goal is very different, right?
Absolutely, I agree.
We want to achieve that goal. And if you just look at my journey when I just started the sales, I didn't even have a two-wheeler because I could not afford a two-wheeler then. Okay. And I used to go in bus.
Okay.
Okay. That was a company where I used to work. I used to take a BMTC bus. Those days it used to be called as BTS bus. So I used to take the BTS bus and then go to a location wherever I used to choose places where I could go and meet. And I still remember the first job that I was there, right? So I had a very tough manager. Okay. The manager, if I don't do sales, the manager used to talk to us in Sanskrit. Okay.
I know.
You understand what I mean by
understand,
Sanskrit,
yeah.
right? So they used to talk to us in Sanskrit, okay? Because that fear was there for us to go back, because we had to do minimum that many calls on a daily basis. And people just outright used to just reject us. They used to just tell that, okay, no, we just don't want to enter. Even before we could just go and talk to them. Okay, because those days, today, the sales folks have got a lot of technology in place and things like that. That time we didn't even have a mobile phone. Everything was there on a
Pager or
pen and
notebook.
yeah, pager used to be there. Then
correct.
pen and paper used to be
Absolutely,
there.
yeah.
Okay, we used to make a note of everything in pen and paper. But then when we used to go there used to be rejection, and then they used to talk very ill about a salesperson. Okay, and that way. But yes, that rejection actually gave us more motivation to work. Okay, and if I start my day, because we had to start our calls by around 9 o'clock, I used to start from my home by around 7 o'clock in the morning, because I had to go by bus. Okay, and then come back late in the evening. Okay, and then sometimes we used to have food, sometimes we never used to have food, because we had to walk to multiple places, and then we used to do that. Or again, take another bus and then go. But that goal, the passion that we had to do sales was actually encouraging us to go and meet as many people as possible. That was one thing. And the other side of it was to see that we had to complete that number of sales calls on a daily basis. I remember one incident, okay, in one such thing. Why that is so fresh in my mind even after so many years is because I met this boy in JC Road. If people are from Bangalore, they know what JC Road is.
Yeah.
I had gone to meet somebody there, and then this boy was, I think he must be knowing that sometimes these boys sell these books and all, right? So
Yeah,
they
correct.
carry
They
the
used
books.
to carry
They used to
books,
carry books. And then this boy was carrying those. Boy, matlab, he was around late 20s or then early 30s, something like that. And then I was just asking him, out of curiosity, because I was being a salesperson, I was curious, right? I was just asking him that, how does your day start? And he was telling me that he used to talk to around 300 to 400 people on a daily basis.
Wow.
Okay. Out of that, he would get a successful sale for around 8 to 10 people. What is a successful sale?
3% approximately.
What is a successful sale? Successful sale is either selling one book or some items that they used to carry. So every morning they had to go to the office, pick up that lot of either books or something like that, and carry that throughout the day. And then by end of the day, how much ever they sell, they used to work on incentive. There was no fixed salary. When I just asked him what is his qualification, I was just taken aback to hear from him that he was a gold medalist in science biology.
Oh my God.
But the challenge was with him, he was not good at English as a language. Okay. As education, I think that was where he was not able to get jobs in multiple places, but he had a responsibility. When I compared myself to that gentleman, I think what we were doing is nothing. That again motivated me. When somebody can talk to 300 to 400 people on a daily basis, what are we doing?
Correct. Absolutely.
Talking to around 15 people, 20 people, is it a big task for us? No, not really. So people are really working hard so much to be in sales, okay, and do sales. But I was just asking him, end of the day, are you happy? He was telling, yes, I'm happy end of the day if I had done 10 sales. Because he used to get that incentive on a daily basis. He used to get that money on a daily basis. That again motivated. Okay, these are certain things. And over a period of time, as the day passed by, I got multiple opportunities, better companies to work with, IT companies to work with. There was a little sophistication, not if not all the sophistication. The kind of people that I used to meet were more on the educated side, the qualified side. We used to get more respectful thing. Correct. Okay, and I would like to tell one of the incidents. If the passion is there, how sales could happen. I was working for one of the companies where we used to sell products on analytical side of products, something like Mathematica and the Sigma plot and these kind of products. And then January, February, March used to be one of the best months for us. Okay, because the organization would be having budgets with them, and then they had to make use of the budget. If the budget was not made use of, they wouldn't get the budget for the next time. So the kind of companies that I used to go and talk to were all senior people in the research organizations, IISCs, GTRE, NAL, ADA, these kind of companies. So I had to sell one of the products, and then there was a requirement for one of the products in IISC to sell a product called as Mathematica. Okay. And I went there, and then I was supposed to meet the professor there who wanted to purchase this for his department. I went for the first day. He was very busy. And again, I had to go for the second day because I knew that, okay, that could be a good sale for me to complete my target, looking for that month. And then second day I went there, and then this, the person who is there outside his cabin was not letting me in because he used to tell that, okay, no, sir is very busy. We cannot let you go and all this. And I said, it's okay. I've been waiting here for such a long time. I just took my visiting card because that time there were no mobiles and things like that. I took my visiting card. Dear professor, I am so and so. I've been coming here for the last 2 days to just get 5 minutes of yours. We had a discussion on this product, Mathematica. Can I get just 5 minutes of yours? I just asked him, it's okay if I don't meet him, but please go and give this to him. Okay, this person went and he gave this visiting card to him. And then that professor, immediately sent him, please ask him to come inside.
Wow.
Okay. He spoke to me for 40-45 minutes.
Wow.
And across the table, he told his assistant, send a purchase order to him.
Wow.
Okay.
Superb.
Because that was only intent that if you want to do, there are multiple ways of doing it.
Correct.
I just gave this example.
I understand.
Because that's something that I remember, and then that was so important for me to just get the target.
You took one step extra.
One step extra.
That makes huge impact on a salesperson because I know that how the people initially treating.
Yes,
Now that
yes.
so there's a lot of changes happening in sales also, because they have a lot of respect on sales people nowadays.
Correct.
Because there are a lot of changes happening.
Lot of changes.
But when you talk about 20 years, 25 years back,
Correct.
the treatment is totally different. I know
Yes,
that.
yes. So these are some of the experiences that I've been having in sales.
Great.
Okay.
Great. And then I also relate to when I started my sales career, no two-wheeler for me also.
Correct.
It's very difficult because
I know.
if you ask me personally, two basic tools you require when you want to be salesperson. I'm talking about 90s, 98.
Correct.
The first one is the tool of the two-wheeler, compulsory,
Yes.
as a salesperson one. Second is the language.
Correct.
Both is very difficult for me because no two-wheeler, no English language.
Okay.
And I used to go travel by bus. I was in Jalali Cross. I used to reach Hosur in the morning at 9 o'clock.
Correct.
Like at bus. And how you mentioned prospects, right? I used to visit minimum 20, 25 prospects every day,
Yes.
factory to factory, because I was in a B2B marketing,
Yes.
sales. I relate all those things. I think you also know from B2B sector, right?
Correct. Mostly in the B2B sector.
B2B only.
That's what that's what helped me to start my companies later on.
Great. Okay, now when we talk about B2B, I think I'm just going through your LinkedIn profile, and I don't come to know that you had three companies of yours, like you as a co-founder.
Correct.
When you this started, is it after the college or immediately after the sales, when initially, or what is the time frame like when you first company you started, like?
Okay. So very interesting. Okay, because that why I say it's interesting is because I was the first person in my family to do something. There was no term called as entrepreneurship within the family level.
Amazing.
The moment they talk like I want to do something on my own, they used to tell, do you want to do business? Okay, because there is a difference. In my opinion, there is a difference
first
between
generation
doing a business. Of course, everything boils down to business. But if you just look at the literal meaning of what business is, what entrepreneurship, the journey is very different. Okay. So my first thing was into the hardware system integration.
Hardware system.
Yeah, that I started way back in 97 is what I started. Okay, with my spouse. Then she was not my spouse. Okay, we started that. Okay, and then we did that for a few years, but we saw that, okay, that was not scalable. That demanded too much of manpower and too much of running around and things like that. And then during the dot-com boom, so the demand for the hardware became a little less because of the failure of the dot-com boom that happened. And later on, I worked for a company. When I was working for one of the companies in Kerala, the head office being in Kerala, and there was a startup. There was a company in the learning space, e-learning space.
Okay.
So that was a company started by the IIT graduates.
Okay.
And then I worked there. Okay, when I just worked there, I got connected to one of my colleagues, who's again a graduate from IIT Kanpur. And then we shared a good relationship between the both of us. He was a total tech guy. And then he also realized that, okay, I am a person who gets connected to people well, and then I enjoy connecting with people. Then over a cup of coffee, we just decided, okay, why should we do something on our own? We just over a cup of coffee. Then the same day he said, okay, ठीक है, अगर ऐसा करना है तो मैं आज ही मैं paper डाल देता हूँ. Okay, let's do something on our own. And then the same day he put up his papers. And then I took a month's time for me to just put my papers because I had some connections in the industry. So I spoke to a couple of people, and then they encouraged me, telling that, okay, says you want to do something on your own, we'll be able to support you. Okay, that's how my entrepreneurship journey started. I started a company called as Edigeny Labs with my other co-founder from IIT Kanpur called as Gaurav Vash, Umakant Soni as advisor. So very, very core tech guy, a very strong tech guy.
Oh.
Okay, and then we used to do corporate trainings, technology consulting.
Okay.
For all enterprises. Awesome. You name the enterprises, all big names, CMO level 5 companies. Our presence was there. And then we did good number of corporate trainings. People appreciated us for the quality that we just gave them. They gave us multiple opportunities. Slowly we started growing. We started having consultants who could come and deliver the training for us. Okay, and while we were delivering the trainings, we also started building the products for online learning platform.
Okay.
But only thing was that we were a little ahead of time.
Acha.
Okay, people kind of did not understand the value behind it, or they were not able to relate it to it, if I need to put it across in a better way. And then they did not have that faith and confidence that, okay, people can still learn on online mode and can still be successful. So that faith was not there. Pandemic changed the whole story. That's a different thing. Post-pandemic, a lot of online learning companies came up, and then they realized the value of online learning. And then we also built an assessment engine. We grew the company to almost 180 plus people. Company, we just grew it. And Axel Partners recognized us. They gave us a term sheet. Okay, later on we had to decide whether to just to take the term sheet or not. And it was a lovely journey. Okay, for almost around 14, 15 years, we had a great journey. As a bootstrapped company, we just did everything. And then we knew how it was, the journey was in terms of being an entrepreneur and then taking care of that many employees in an organization, how it was. So that was a journey, not an easy journey, because those days, just like how the venture capitalists are there now, or seed funding is there and things like that. So getting a funding was very difficult, and thankfully we were lucky enough that some companies recognized us and then they came forward to just fund us, okay, and things like that. So that was a journey, and again after that, the journey went on. Okay, being an entrepreneur, I did another couple of startups. Okay, okay, and learning now, still learning.
That's great. That's great. And you had 3 different companies, right? One is a hardcore automation kind of things.
Yes.
As a learning platform.
Learning tool, yeah.
Another is
So I did something in the space of furnished home rental.
furniture.
That is a little different one. We use technology to get the furniture. It's an upgraded version of PG is what I can say. It was very good, very successfully going on. Okay, and but sometime during the pandemic, things did not go the way that we expected that to go. But after that, the same founders of that company with a couple of other people from IT Kanpur, we did another company I started up called as Hire Sure. Okay, I was there for a couple of years, and then I just moved out from there for some personal reasons. I had to move out from there. And as a co-founder of the company, I still was there. Then the current role that I'm just playing with Springworks, and the founder.
I'll just come back to you
Sure.
because I want to have some follow-up question with the 3
Definitely.
companies.
Definitely.
When you talk about 3 companies, do you remember any incident or any strategy that you, as a salesperson, you done that any one of the company, if you remember, and that has changed the game? Like there is something helped you grow, or
Very
is something I want to know that strategy, what you use.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
See, I told you some time back that okay, for a salesperson, what is very important is passion.
Passion, yeah.
Okay, and I add something more to that. For a salesperson, what is much more important than passion is having the capabilities of building a strong relationship with the people you're working with.
Amazing.
Okay, so this incident happened. Okay, so people who know how the corporate training works. So generally, what happens whenever we're doing corporate training, as an organization, we cannot have expertise for every technology we teach to the corporate employees. So we might have some expertise within the organization. Sometimes we work with freelance consultants. They come, they give us their dates for a weekday's time or 10 days time, 15 days time, whatever the need is. And similarly, like us, every organization will be working with multiple vendors like us. So it once so happened that okay, for one of the companies, I do not want to name that company. Okay, one of the companies, they had onboarded one of our competitor, another company like ours.
Okay.
Okay, and then the training was supposed to start on a Monday morning.
Okay.
Okay, and on a Sunday evening by around 10 o'clock or 10:30 around, that company gives a call to that organization and says that okay, the trainer who's supposed to come tomorrow cannot come tomorrow.
Oh.
But what happens in any of the corporate training scenarios, there will be a lot of work that happens at the back end for the learning L&D department
Okay.
to arrange the training. It's not very easy because there is a cost at every stage. Okay, and then they have to just get the people, and even if somebody is coming for training to upgrade their skills, they have to just plan that 1 week how they can spare that 1 week for learning this training purpose. There is a lot of planning that happens at the back end.
Okay.
Okay, and then when this gentleman, this company told the company that okay, they cannot send the trainer, one of the senior persons of that company, do not believe me, that lady gave me a call at 1:15 a.m. in the morning.
Whoa.
Okay, telling that okay, Yashwanth, I want help from you. Okay, and then I asked, what ma'am, what happened at this hour? I'm sure something serious must have happened. No, I've just committed this training for somebody very senior level people in the organization, and we want your help to see if you've got some consultants. I said, if you can allow me some time till tomorrow morning, because at this hour it's very difficult for me to talk to someone. Please allow me some time tomorrow morning. I'll talk to a couple of people and then I'll get back to you. And then very sincerely, I just spoke to a couple of people. I got one person who could deliver this training, and the process in the corporate training is that the subject matter experts in that organization will do an interview with the trainer.
Okay.
to understand the capabilities of a trainer. Only when the trainer passes through the interview, then he'll be allowed to go ahead and do the training for the other people in the organization. And then they set up a interview on a telephonic interview they set up. And then I personally went to that organization, and I was at that organization at 9 a.m. in the morning. And then I set up the call with them. And then thankfully that trainer got selected. And that training went on from the next day onwards, because the same day the trainer could not come because the trainer was not from the Bangalore location.
Okay.
And that helped me in getting the credibility for myself first and the organization next. Why I'm telling that myself first is because they believed that, okay, if I not pick up the call at that time, it would have been difficult for them, but because it's something, a matter of reputation for them as well. So we have to work very closely, understanding their pain points. As a vendor, I'm a part of that team. I am not separate. If I need to become a responsible vendor, I should understand the pain points of the organization that I'm working with. Could be a training or it could be anything else. For example, you're doing gifting, right? So in your organization as gifting, when you're just talking to your HR folks, having a trust and belief on you, they would have committed something to the organization. So you also as a person and or me as a person, we should understand how important it is for us to uphold their credibility within the organization. So that's what happened. And later on, they trusted us and then they started giving us good opportunities to work with them. Okay. And at every point in time, there is nothing called as taking it easy just because we got an opportunity. In sales, what is very important, not only in sales, in any business or any entrepreneurship, any relationship, what is important is that every opportunity that we get, we have to put the same efforts like what we put for the first time. Okay. We cannot take anything for granted. That's all. Okay. Every effort has to go better than what we did for the last time. Okay. Because we already set some expectations. They expect us to be better than what we did last time. And one wrong step, because there is somebody else who can take your space, right? So that's a journey that we have to just give it a best shot at every point in time.
Okay. Yeah, you mentioned that the prospect she called in the midnight or 1 p.m. What made her to call you only? Because you are keeping regular touch with as a prospect, because that's the first time you get an opportunity, right?
Correct.
You would have built some trust. Because that's the beauty of the salesperson, because when you build that kind of relationships, even though they're not giving any order or even though you're not getting any services from you, but you need to build that kind of trust, or you need to build that kind of follow-up procedure.
Correct.
That makes a huge difference, because when you start, whenever she had a problem, she remembered Yashwanth.
Exactly. That's what I was
very, very important, because it will take a time to build that kind of credibility. As you mentioned rightly, the credibility first, what you created yourself, this is very, very important, because people buy first from you. In a sense, you need to sell yourself first.
Correct.
You need to build that kind of connection. You need to build that kind of energy with the opposite person.
Correct.
Second point, they'll take which company you are there.
Yes.
That's what. And the customer buy third was of your product and services.
Correct.
They gotta believe in that.
Very true.
And you need to be focused more on yourself rather than focusing on product and services.
Correct.
That's what you mentioned.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah, for your question, why did she call me only? Maybe she did not call me alone. Maybe she spoke to a couple of other people also. Maybe, possibly,
Correct,
yes.
that's possible.
Because I cannot take that pride telling that she spoke to me only once. Because for them at that point in time, it was very important for them to just make that happen.
Because you took a step, the next day morning you done everything for what she is looking for.
That helped me.
That's what.
That
the execution is very important.
Yes.
Super. Thank you so much for sharing, sir.
Yeah.
You shared me the what you call sales, the strategy. Basically, you focus more on building relationship. That was the three co-founded what companies with that.
Correct.
Now I want to understand the three co-founded what you done the business. What is one learning for you? Like anything if you want to highlight, particular one learning based on the three experiences.
One thing is that as a entrepreneur or somebody who's actually running the show, their involvement has to be there at every level. Okay, something that is very important. So while definitely we have trustworthy people within the organization, end of the day what matters is that if anything, God forbid, if anything goes wrong, we'll be answerable for it. Okay, and that is something that I have learned, that we have to definitely take care. There is nothing called a small or big. Not that the moment I say that we should be involved, it is not micromanagement. It is being aware of what's happening.
Achha, you mean to say involvement in the sense of monitoring those people?
No. We should never monitor anybody.
Okay.
We should be aware of what we are doing.
Asha, okay. You should have
The awareness of what is
they're
happening.
doing.
What is happening, that's all.
Okay, got
That's what I said. It's not about managing
Management,
anyone,
yeah.
because everybody are good at their own level. But at the same time, we should be aware of where things are going in the right way, where things, if at all, if something is going wrong, can we take corrective measures? Because the perspective at which, as the owner of the organization, as somebody who's leading the organization, is looking at is very different from every department heads look at. Because every department heads look at giving their best for their particular vertical or for their particular activity that they're doing. But as an head of the organization, as a founder of the company, it's the wholesome is what we have to just look at. Every team's work, every department's work becomes very important there. That's where I use the word called as being aware of what's happening in the organization, repeating it, not doing micromanagement.
Okay, great. Apart from a relationship, what you're talking about in sales, based on more than 3 decades of experience, if you want to ask you that, okay, let me, apart from relationship, any one more things you need to focus as a salesperson?
Something with all...
Especially, I think you have more than 30 years in experience in B2B, right?
B2B.
Keeping in that
I've
B2B.
been in B2B. See, definitely today, the sales is very different from where we started our careers.
Okay.
There are a lot of softwares in place. There are a lot of technologies in place. A lot of processes in place. While that is, all those things are definitely important for us to follow the processes, for us to upskill what we are doing.
Okay.
One thing that I strongly believe as a person, as a salesperson, is being honest with what we are doing. So anything, I just talk to my team members or I just talk to everybody, right? जो भी बात करते हो दिल से बात करो.
Okay.
Because the way that we connect internally is very different from the way that we connect externally.
Okay.
And I like to make a mention here. I am an NLP practitioner.
Okay.
Okay, so there is a saying in NLP practitioner, and what we believe in that, even before we connect consciously, we would have already got connected to somebody subconsciously.
Okay.
Okay, that is the whole reason. Even when we look at somebody, right, or when we just get along with somebody, so with some people we'll gel well, with some people we don't gel well, because that connect doesn't happen. So if we think that we are smart, the person on the other side is smarter than we are. That's my strong belief. So in a fraction of a second, they can make out whether we are genuine or we are not genuine. And what I've learned is that, what I've experienced, what I've learned, what I've experienced, what has benefited me is that if I don't know something, I'll admit that I don't know anything. I don't know that. And that is more appreciated by whomsoever that I'm just talking to than covering up with some stories about something that we don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
And it is an honest acceptance, right? Okay, if I don't know something, yeah, not everybody is perfect.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so it is okay for us not to know something. But let's admit that, okay, we don't know something, and then go back to them with an honest effort, telling them, okay, the other day when I just met you, this is something that, okay, I was not able to get back to you on this, but this is what I did my research, and this is what I just inquired with a couple of people in my organization. This is what the answer or the solution for what you asked me. So that is more appreciated.
So be honest to yourself.
Yes.
That's very important.
There is a saying, right? It's okay for me to lose a sale, but not lose a customer.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. Sale will always come back to us. If not today, some other day it will come back to us when they realize our value.
Absolutely. That's great.
Yes.
Amazing. Acha, now, according to you, when you started as a sales career, now it's been more than 30 years, there's a lot of changes happen when it comes to technology.
Correct.
If you take any other functional department wise, if you see, how much as a sales has changed through technology? Because if you ask me personally, irrespective of any technology change in sales, but you need to be the personal interaction.
Correct.
That's what I believe in that, because
Correct.
sales, that's going to happen. But saying that when we started our career, there is not much technology in sales, but there's a lot of change. Can you just let us know what kind of changes are? Because you are more into a tech background, you are into more technology now.
Correct.
I know you have a lot of process in your organization presently. You can just talk about
So
those.
today we should accept the fact that we are in a competitive world. Okay.
Okay.
Being in a competitive world, we always have to be ahead of our competition. Okay, so there is always a saying, right? Okay, if you're not in the top 3, you're not in the business. Okay, in whatever we are doing. So we have to strive to say that, okay, how we can be in the top 3. For that, what is required? Today, there are a lot of methods for us to get connected with people. So there are a lot of platforms. okay, where we can always connect with people. In a B2B platform, what is the best thing is LinkedIn is something which is very important.
Correct.
How strong are we in LinkedIn? How genuine are we in LinkedIn? Okay, and then is there a value that we are creating ourselves by writing the correct experiences, not stories. I do not want to use the word because some people tell that, okay, I wrote a good story on LinkedIn. I don't buy that point. It is our experience is what we have to just always share in on LinkedIn, because that's where we are able to get connected to. People might not respond back to whatever we write, but they'll always observe.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, that is something that I've learned. When we started the sales, right? Okay, I did not know what is the concept of an SDR concept. What is about the different sales. So when we started, I used to take that yellow pages and then I used to make calls.
Correct.
So today there are multiple forums are there, multiple communities are there, multiple consortiums are there. There are multiple ways for us to get connected. Apollo, for example, if I don't get a contact number, we can just search in Apollo and then we can get the contact numbers of an individual. Apollo.
Okay,
Yeah.
Apollo.
So we can get the contact numbers of an individual. Their email IDs are there.
Okay.
So there are means and ways for us to compose good emails and connect with them. But again, I strongly believe that, okay, while there are Gemini, ChatGPT, multiple other things, we should always customize the emails. It has to connect with somebody when we are writing emails. It should not become the standard monotonous formats.
Correct.
Okay, that's what I
It'll be
just
more
look at.
personal touch, right?
Yeah, that person touch. So that is where actually, and definitely yes, with all these technologies in place and all these processes in place, definitely it has helped us to reach to the bigger audience. Okay, and we are able to just connect at once. Say for example, earlier if I had to make calls for 100 people, I had to make 100 times the call. And how much of energy would we have?
Correct.
Of course, the 20th call or the 25th call wouldn't have the same energy that how it used to be on the first call.
Correct.
Okay, those things can be avoided now. So we can have the similar kind of a calls that goes on, or similar kind of a connect that goes on with the emails that we write. There are email sequences that we actually can write. So even that also, in my opinion, has to be more personalized. It should not be the standard formats that are there. Because today people are very smart. They can understand whether it's an automated email that's going, it's a sequence that's going, or whatever it is. I strongly believe in writing emails personally. And maybe it's not because that I'm in a seat where I'm sitting today. Even for the freshers also, even for volumes also, what we do is that, yes, we have to do that. Okay, because when we ourselves get multiple emails, the very first second or 2 seconds, if that email interests us, we read the remaining 30 seconds or 40 seconds. If the first 2 seconds doesn't interest us, we just keep going to the next one.
Correct.
That's what happens to all of us, right? So that's what we have to just look at, and how do we create that interest for somebody to just do that? It should not be monotonous, it should not be mechanical. So that way, yes, there is a big, huge change in that. Things becomes much more faster today because the sales cycle is much faster than how it used to be earlier. Okay, because I just got a call from somebody as one of the big names in the thing. Okay, and then this gentleman was telling me that, okay, Yashwanth, can you just send me your profile that you're meeting this GCC in on Monday afternoon. I just told him that, okay, can you give me around a couple of hours because I'm driving now, and then once I reach that. He immediately said that, okay, yes, but I would recommend that, okay, you give it immediately because they're talking to somebody else also. The moment you give it earlier, I think the chances of you getting a meeting first will be much higher than the second person. So that's the kind of a speed that we have to work today.
Yes.
We cannot relax.
You know?
We cannot relax. It's so fast. It's a speed. The industry is going at a very fast pace. So that's what it is.
Super. Okay, I think I understand what you're telling. Now you are, I think, presently working in Spring Works, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Acha, as a sales head, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That particular company is more into technology, right?
Correct.
Tech-based incident. Correct. And I heard you have more than 5,000 clients, right?
Yeah, in fact, a little more than that. Around 7,000, 7,500 plus clients is what we
That's amazing in B2B sector.
Correct.
But how do you manage? Like, how do you get the connections? How do you? I think definitely you have other competitor also same field, but what you are different from other people when it's come to sales as such? The conversion. How come like 7,000 customer is not a joke?
Yeah, it was 7,000 we built over a period of time. Okay, at the same time, the product also got matured over a period of time. So the founder Karthik and myself go a long way in terms of the relationship that we hold with each other. So when I rejoined Springworks as an organization, way back in 2021, when I just rejoined, so one of the things that I wanted to take up was to see how we can improve the sales better than what we were doing at that point in time. So by everybody's support, by organization support, multiple team support, we were able to upskill ourselves, and then we onboarded multiple clients we just onboarded. Not that it was only my contribution, everybody's contribution was definitely there. I alone cannot do anything. And then I strongly got only one thing when I was just slowly building up the team, was telling that, okay, how honest we are, how quick we are in responding to the queries that we get. Okay, that is something which is very important. Because if somebody asks you something, maybe even in your business, okay, I think you must have experienced that as well. If somebody is asking you something, and if you just compare to the responses you gave quickly and the responses you took a couple of hours or a couple of days to respond back, the conversion rate where you responded quickly was much higher than what you took a couple of days to respond. Because today even client also wants to work with somebody who is abreast of things, who is definitely fast and can work at their pace. Okay, and sometimes client will reach out to us in the last moment.
Right.
Okay, and then we should get as much as information as possible from the client, very subtly, very humbly. We should get as much as information as possible from the client, and we should not have multiple interactions with the client. So any information that we might want to share with the client, we have to make it crisp, simple, and easy for them to understand. Okay, for the same thing, if you just keep talking to them multiple times, then they also lose interest, and then they don't see the professionalism in us. It has to be crisp, it has to be clear, it has to be complete. Any information that we give to the client, because nobody has time to just keep on looking at our emails, keep on looking at what we are sharing with them, and everything has to be at once. It has to be quick and fast. So that has actually kind of helped us. And of course, yes, technology, yes, and the support system is also very good at our end. Our support team is doing an amazingly great job, and they use technology at its best. Our founder Karthik is very keen person in trying to see how much automation that we can do at every point in time. Because the moment we do the automation, what happens is that we get high accuracy, low cost, operational cost, and quick turnaround times. And especially in our industry, as a BGV, as one of the product that we just dealing with, marquee product called a Spring Verify. So what is very important there is the accuracy and the quick turnaround times is very important. That's what we have achieved using technology. And then I definitely take pride in telling that, okay, we are one among very few who have used technology to at its best to give the best result. That's what has helped us in getting more number of clients that we have onboarded today.
Okay, got it. Okay, if you want to, like, there are a lot of viewers are there, like sales executives, sales professional, or more into B2B people. If you want to give step-by-step process, like as a B2B based on it, from the identifying the lead, that let's say prospecting, what are the things, steps you need to follow?
Correct. So whenever we get a lead, right, it has to go to the lead team. So they just make call to them and then they qualify the lead. Okay, they get us MQLs, SQLs. Okay, and then once it is converted, because not every lead will get, it would be looking forward for conversion.
Okay.
Okay, then we convert the lead to a deal. Okay, at the deal stage is what we actually understand. Okay, this is something worth spending time on this particular account. Okay, account-based marketing we do. Okay, we connect with them, and then we do a deeper dive on that, and then we spend more time in trying to understand what they actually want. Then we got account executives, very well defined for the SME segment, very well defined for the enterprise segment, because the thought processes are very different. Because like off the records, like what we were just talking some time back, so the mindset in terms of handling an SME segment is very different from the mindset of handling an enterprise segment, because the processes are very different. The hierarchical closure is very different in both the segments. While in SMB segment, certain times the decision happens very quickly. For an enterprise segment, they've got their own processes to follow, their own hierarchy to follow, and then their own the way of evaluating the vendor process is there. So we have to learn over a period of time. It varies for every business. Not that okay, whatever I'm telling today will be the same thing for some other business. So we have to learn, understand over a period of time what best works for us, and then follow those steps.
Okay, got it. But you in sales, we need to upskill ourselves, right, on a regular basis. Oh, that's very important for any kind of a profession.
Correct.
What do you do as to upskill yourself, sir?
You're asking me as an individual?
Yeah, as an individual.
Yeah. So one thing
sales is maybe you can be focused more on sales related.
Correct.
That will be useful for us.
For me personally, if you're just talking about me as an individual, I love to get connected with the younger folks. With the younger folks, younger community.
Okay.
Because I spend a lot of time with them. Okay, because their thinking process is way ahead of what we think. Because we carry our experiences the way that we actually came up. But these younger people, their thinking is very different. I try to align myself on that. Okay, and Technically, I try to get connected with the product team, try to learn more about the product, try to be next to perfection, if not perfect, next to perfection as much as possible. Because if you're just going and talking to somebody about the product or whatever services that we are selling, we should be in a position to answer the queries what they're asking us. Of course, out of 10 questions, if one question if you're not able to answer is okay. But out of 10 questions, if 9 questions if you're not able to answer, we fail there. We should be having that knowledge. Okay. If they're, as a salesperson, not required to just go deeper into the technology side. And if they're asking too much of a tech questions, because you asked me that, okay, as a technical person, what do you do? That's the reason I'm just telling this to you. You can always tell that, okay, yes, this is something that, okay, what I'm aware of. But if you want a deeper insights of what we are doing, how about having one more call with our tech team? I'll set up a call with my tech team and then do a deeper discussion. But what has worked for us, what is successful for us is that we have not left any question unanswered for somebody. We give them a solution, we give them an answer for that. They get convinced, then they sign up with us.
Okay.
Because that confidence is what we have to build for them.
Okay, got it. Okay, but when you hire a people, let's say sales fresher, okay, what actually look for that? Like, is it the communication, the language you're talking about, or is it a skills you should have some maybe background of management course or some kind of skills you required or knowledge? What actually look for a salesperson?
I personally believe that attitude is very important
Okay.
when we hire somebody.
Sure.
Skills can always be learned.
Okay.
Okay, nobody is perfect on skills. Skills is something that can be taught. Skills is something that can be learned. But attitude is something that, okay, we cannot change in a person. That attitude is very important. Okay.
Attitude is in the sense that maybe he should be go-getter or something.
Go get it, that he has to be hustler.
Sales, yeah, sales
Okay,
is very
and
important.
is he a fit for the organization? That is also equally important.
Okay.
Okay, because every organization have got their own culture, right? So is he or she fit for our organization? Okay, are we doing justice by hiring him or her? It is not only that at an organization level that, okay, we fail if we hire the wrong candidate. We are also depriving of a candidate by giving an opportunity where he or she might not be a good fit for the organization. We cannot afford to do that. That's also equally important. We cannot take a candidate's career for granted. Okay. So that is the reason at an organization level, we do multiple rounds. It's okay for us to give them a decision a couple of days later, but we get convinced ourselves. Okay. Then we see that the candidate is convinced. Okay. And then we go ahead and then hire somebody.
Got it. On that. Well, is it true that nowadays I'm getting a lot of people talking about because I work closely with a lot of business owners. They tell compared to earlier, like let's say 20 years plus earlier, now getting sales people will be very difficult, very challenging.
Okay.
Is it true from your side?
In my opinion, I don't think so.
Okay.
Not necessarily it has to be like that.
Maybe because of the sales people will be work from office or work from like home, they prefer those kind of things. Or else maybe working in a mall or a showroom, exclusive showrooms, as a salesperson will be easy. But when it comes to B2B, especially field sales, that will be problematic or what?
No, it all depends on the culture of the organization.
Okay.
Okay. Nobody is good, nobody is bad.
Okay.
Okay. It is how we actually inculcate that culture. How do we give the ownership to the person? Because see, what happens, what we strongly believe in, at least I strongly believe in also is that we have to give the ownership to the every individual, not only sales, every individual.
Okay.
We have to tell them like how important they are. Okay. And at the same time, give them the ownership of whatever they are doing. Give them all the tools that's required for them to upskill themselves. Okay. And not in this field, any field for that matter, we definitely have some people who might not be a good fit, okay, for the organization. Not that they are not good. Okay, they might not be a good fit for this role. They may be excellent for something else. So we have to identify that. Get on a conversation with them. Try and understand what are the pain areas that they are going through. Are they really enjoying what they're doing? Are they seeing the benefits? Are they seeing a career path for themselves? That's also equally important. While we are looking forward for the growth of an organization, it's also equally important for us to see that, okay, is an individual having the growth path?
Professional growth.
Professional growth path. That's also equally important because as long as somebody is not enjoying the work or the job that they're doing, they cannot do justice to whatever role that they're playing in the organization, right? Because that hits somewhere, and then we can see that in results. It's very obvious. Over a period of time, thankfully we have learned that, okay, whether this person is doing a good job or not so good job. Then we get on a conversation with them. We very honestly discuss with them. We honestly give them that environment to just talk to them very honestly with us. We try to help them. We try to upskill them. We try to give them whatever tools that's required. And at an organization level, because it's a responsibility for us also, right? When we have hired somebody, we have to just do our best, whatever is possible, to uplift that person to a stage where he or she is able to do justice for themselves first and for the organization next. Okay, are they able to do that? So if they're not able to do that, I think we should do a golden handshake, telling that, okay, yes, I don't think this is the area that you should be in. Okay, I think your skills are in something else. And I think by then they'll only realize that. And of course, it cannot happen. There is a process for, just like any organization, that you have to do that. I think we have to just do a very, very good exit, not rubbing faces, not harsh exit. Every exit has to be a very good exit. Because I strongly believe they are our ambassadors when they go out of our organization.
Correct.
Because they are the ones who speak good about us or not so good about us when they go out of the organization.
Okay. Almost all we're ending the podcast now, and thank you so much for sharing. Personally, there's a lot of relate to that, resonate here, what you discuss about that one.
Right.
Now I want to ask you that if you want to share the 3 tips, pro tips for the upcoming sales profession, what are those 3 tips from your end?
I think summarizing it in 3 is quite difficult for a salesperson, but I'll try to do my best on that. So one thing is that definitely I would tell for a salesperson, be honest in what you're doing. That honesty is very important. Okay, because the salesperson is the face of the organization.
Correct.
Okay, because he carries the organization to the field, he carries the organization to the clients. Okay, because they judge how the organization is looking at how the salesperson is. Being honest is very important.
Honest to yourself, that's very important.
Be honest to yourself, be honest to the organization. Okay, because I see many times people working in the same organization, but they'll be talking ill about the organization.
Correct.
What I say, tell them, if you're not happy, please leave and go. Don't talk ill about the organization which is giving you the daily bread. Okay, that is very important.
Correct.
Okay, that's what I strongly believe in, and that's what I've been practicing also from the beginning.
Super.
Very important, that is. Okay. And the second one is that be hardworking. When I use the word hardworking, smartness also comes there. Okay, we have to understand what we are selling to the best possible level and give the right information to the clients that we're just talking about. Okay, and no giving any wrong information, because at that moment we might make the client happy, we might make the prospect happy, but on a longer run, if they come to know that, okay, whatever we're just talking is not right, okay, then I think we lose them forever. Okay, that is something that we have to be very, very clear on that. So have the best knowledge about the product or services that you are just selling, and then go and then talk to the client. Okay, that is something, the second one. And the third one, which is very important for me, that I think I must have stressed about that a couple of times in my past, for a few minutes that we've been talking also, is make an effort to hold a strong relationship with every client that you're just talking to. Okay, and that effort has to be a very genuine effort.
Not transactional.
No, not transaction. It has to be a very genuine effort. Because I have gone to an extent of helping somebody beyond my professional association. Okay, somebody in the family wants blood. I have personally gone and then I have given blood to them. When will that happen? That happen only when we hold a strong relationship. Okay, and also I have got a lot of insights about our competition from my client. When will that happen? When the client trusts us and then we hold a strong relationship.
Absolutely.
Okay, it's not that, okay, the client is leaking the information, but the client is giving the information that helps us to close the deal because of the good work that we have done, or because of the strong relationship that we hold, because of the trust over a period of time that we have built with the client. These things are very important. I think I answered your question.
Yeah, definitely. That's what. This is nice. Like, first is honest to yourself. That's very important. Hardworking, definitely, because there is no replacement for hard work.
Correct.
You have to be hardworking.
Be a hustler.
That's what. And third one, I believe in this. This is one of my core value in sales as well as my life. But building strong relationships. That's what I believe in that.
Very
I live for that only. Okay, that's what I love to be building that kind of thing, because That makes your life so easy. You no need to sell anything.
Correct.
You have to build that only conversation with the prospect or client,
Yes.
existing client or anything.
Correct.
That is very, very important if you are a B2B cycle person.
Correct.
That's, I also understand what you're talking
See, that doesn't go only in the professional side. It also goes very well in the personal side as well.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's what it is.
Correct. Thank you. Thank you so much for being this podcast, Yashwanth. And thank you so much for your input. There's a lot of learning. There's a lot of inputs you've given about sales. And really, it's been amazing conversation with you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Baswaraj, for actually inviting me here. In fact, I should be thanking you much more than because you took me back to around 25 plus years of my experience that actually I had.
So much. It's my
Okay,
pleasure.
and I think I made some, I did some value add to whoever is listening to this
Yeah.
with whatever little experience that I have learned over a period of time. And the journey still continues.
Correct, definitely, because as you know that we just changing, like we are just, you all ourselves also as a podcaster, like the name stands like the Leaders Speak
Yes.
podcast.
Okay.
We started slowly moving from HR to other functional department also, like marketing, sales, finance, purchase or all.
Okay.
And I am so happy that you were the first person when you talk about sales.
Correct. Okay. Yeah.
And,
Got it.
that's very special for me.
Got
And,
it, got it.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Wonderful.
And it's been great.
Same, yes. I thoroughly enjoyed having discussion with you. I think I at one point in time I did not realize that okay, this is a podcast that we're doing. So I was just talking and talking because a lot of memories was coming up afresh of my mind. Thank you. I really thoroughly enjoyed talking
so
to you.
much.
Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you so much.
Let's keep growing at every point in time. Okay, wish you all the best. Too.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. My
It
pleasure.
was like sustainable gift from
Okay, thank you
Raptor
so
brand.
much.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Here are my 3 takeaway from this episode. The number 1 is passion. As a salesperson, irrespective of your skills, knowledge or language, you need to have a passion to go get. That's very important, because if you don't have a passion towards the sales, you can't do, because in a sales, you're going to get a lot of rejection initially, and you should have a patience, and only the passion going to drive as a sales. This is one point. The second one is relationships. As he mentioned, B2B, it's very, very important to build strong relationship with the prospect or clients, because only B2B going to run through relationship. You don't differentiate your product and services. You need to focus more on building a relationship, even though they're not your customer, but build that kind of a relationship. Keep in touch, send a message on a birthday, call them on a festivals. These kind of makes huge difference when you in a B2B, because only relationship take forward. The third one is a quick response. As he mentions, very, very important, because you have n number of competitor in the market and everyone to get the customer. But only makes a difference is how much you are in a quick response. When going to get the lead, how much time you take a response. You can take a 5 minutes or 20 minutes or 30 minutes. Be consistent those. If you fix that, okay, I want to get back to within 30 minutes, the customer what he required, take a 30 minutes and make sure.